The parts of India are sweltering with maximum temperatures staying above 40 degrees Celsius in multiple places and heat waves forecast for north and western regions of the country.
Yeah, the heat is not new for India, but studies show intensity and frequency of heat waves are increasing. Authorities have rolled out heat action plans, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appealed to citizens to take precautions.
But as Neha Poonia reports for CNA, experts are calling for long-term solutions to protect the country's population.
Millions across India are struggling to stay cool. People say the heat feels like stepping into a furnace, and the hardest hit are those working outdoors all day. Government guidelines advise people to avoid being outdoors during peak heat hours, but for daily wage workers, any time spent not working is income lost. As the mercury climbs, many head to these cooling centres for a brief reprieve and much-needed hydration before getting back to work. A World Bank study estimates up to 3/4 of India's workforce is engaged in heat-exposed labour.
तो हम तो हैं, जब इधर कहीं से निकलते तो भी बैठते हैं, जाते हैं तो भी बैठते हैं। गर्मी में और क्या चाहिए, ये चीज़ की है।
Research shows that India is among the countries most vulnerable to heat stress, a condition when the body is not able to cool itself sufficiently. And there are likely economic consequences too. India lost an estimated 247 billion potential labour hours in 2024, according to the medical journal The Lancet, with informal workers and small business owners like Himanshu Kumar most impacted. He runs a travel agency in the heart of New Delhi.
यहाँ पे एसी लगाना इम्पॉसिबल है, अर्निंग इतनी है नहीं, ठीक है, कूलर ही है जिसकी राहत से हम बैठे रहते हैं बस, इसके अलावा और कुछ नहीं है। फैन है, फैन तो आप देख ही रहे हो, लुई मतलब गर्म हवा की थपेड़ ही दे रहा है बस। हीट है तो है, काम पे आना है तो आना है, ठीक है, लू है।
India's weather department says heat waves are becoming longer, stronger and more frequent. A recent study also predicted that the country could witness up to 40 additional unusually hot days every year over the next 2 decades. Experts blame climate change and the rapid urbanization of cities and towns that creates urban heat islands. Temperatures are high through the day, but also as much as 30 degrees Celsius at night, leaving the body with little chance to cool down and recover. Just for context, a heat wave is declared when the mercury touches the 45 degrees Celsius mark, or when the temperature is 4.5 to 6 degrees above normal. So just how bad is it? According to Non-Profit Council on Energy, Environment and Water, about 76% of India's population faces a high to very high risk from extreme heat. Doctors at this heat stroke unit, the first of its kind in North India, say being able to cool yourself quickly is the only thing that can help save lives during a heat wave.
And this becomes an ice water immersion therapy. That is the fastest way of cooling.
But that needs to be done under medical supervision. Dr. Amlendu Yadav says they received more than 75 heat stroke patients in 2024, the last time heat levels were so high. He worries this year the number could be higher.
Most of our patients are unconscious patients. Usual mortality of heat stroke patient is 80% if patient doesn't get treatment. But if patient get timely treatment, adequate treatment, this mortality can be brought down to just 10%. And in year 2024, our mortality data was 27%.
Setting up cooling tents and heat wards are welcome moves, experts say, but not enough. They argue that heat plans in India are focused more on emergency responses and not on long-term changes to make cities heat resilient. Dr. Radhika Khosla co-authored a recent Oxford University study that found India will be among the countries with the largest populations exposed to extreme heat if climate change worsens in the coming decades.
Really rethinking the built environment in terms of, are there low-cost solutions, which there exist, in plenty and have existed for a long time, that enable shading, that enable ventilation, that enable access to green spaces, that enable access to water. I think if we act now and quickly, we can save ourselves a lot of damage.
Research warns that parts of South Asia could one day face heat and humidity levels that will test the limits of human survival. For India's cities, the challenge is to adapt fast enough for potentially hotter years ahead. For CNA, I'm Neha Poonia in New Delhi.